Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your second morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. Also, please be sure to follow the QueenAShakur fan page. You can find me on Twitter at TheGoddess27. Hello, sweet great mom, Just Biz, Cole, is Black, Courtney, C Mommy Mac, Jillian, or Jillane, March Baby, Millie, Bryce, Susan Butler, Kay Sampson, Shots on Target is Black, Pure Black, Felicia, Kay Sampson, Melanated Brown, Queen Candy J, Dragon Lily Lee, Madeline, Cherie. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Hello, Vince, I am from the UK. Let's get into it, people. Hello, Jay Parrish, Celia. Now listen to this, people. So you all know that I was just telling you about Mitch McConnell. Ain't that a Mitch? When I told you all that he was trying to insinuate or imply that Black people just aren't Americans, right? Because he said Black people are voting at the same rate as Americans. So what does that make us again? Anyway, so he has been blasted by Virginia Congressman. The Virginia Congressman blasted McConnell for comments on voters of color. So let's talk about it. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is facing fierce criticism for comments that he made this week in response to a question about the concerns of voters of color. Virginia Democratic Representative Donald McEachin condemned the remark in a letter to the Kentucky Republicans, saying, "I am writing today in response to your recent comment on voting rights in which you insinuated that African Americans are somehow not American citizens. This is 2022, and being American is not synonymous with looking or thinking like you. African Americans are, in fact, American citizens, deserving of our recognition, respect, and equal protections under the law." Well, shout out to this senator for saying that, Representative Donald McEachin. Because let me tell you who didn't say something. Now, he's a Democratic representative from Virginia. But you know who is also a representative from Virginia who didn't bother to say anything? You all remember Winsome Sears, the Jamaican immigrant who happens to be the first Black female lieutenant governor of the state of Virginia. Well, I haven't heard her say a peep about Mitch McConnell's, or shall I say Biach McConnell's, comments about African Americans and implying that we're not citizens or Americans. I haven't heard her say a word about that, but pay attention, because she just said days ago that because she's in her position that she's in, we should all know that we're progressing forward as a nation. So she wants to act like there's no wannabe supremacy here and there's no racism. And she also doesn't want them talking about critical race theory. Pay attention. She's a whole coon in the plantation, baby. So with that all being said, goes on to say that at the Republican leadership's weekly news conference held on Wednesday, Latino Rebels reporter Pablo Mariquez asked McConnell what his message was to voters of color who are concerned that they would not be able to vote in the midterms if Congress failed to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And then McConnell replied, "Well, the concern is misplaced because if you look at the statistics, African American voters are voting in just as high a percentage as Americans. A recent survey, 94% of Americans thought it was easy to vote. That is not a problem. Turnout is up." Now, when asked by CNN whether the senator had left out a word in his comments, a spokesman for his office said McConnell meant to say other Americans, not just Americans. So that's what he meant to say. Sure, Mitch. Now, the apparent misstatement has led to heavy criticism from the left, with groups using the Twitter hashtag Mitch Please. I love it. All right, I was the first one to coin that. Y'all know, right? Hashtag Mitch Please to address the Republican leader. Now, they say it's definitely giving hashtag Mitch Please. African Americans are Americans 365 days a year is what one tweet read that was posted by Congressional Black Caucus account. McConnell in a statement provided to CNN on Thursday by his team, said he has consistently pointed to the record high turnout for all voters in the 2020 election, including African Americans. Now, this is not the first time McConnell has come under fire for comments pertaining to issues of race and racial discrimination in America. In 2019, when he was asked about his position on reparations for slavery in advance of a historic House hearing on the matter, he said in part, "We've elected an African-American president." That response also sparked outrage because remember, I reported on that. He said, "We've elected an African-American president." I'm sorry, what does that have to do with reparations, especially since that African-American president didn't do anything for African-Americans? I'm just saying. That was not even the equivalent. Did he tell any other group, race or ethnic group of people the same thing? No, he did not. They were given reparations. Now, the response sparked outrage, with some arguing that he had suggested the country paid for the sin of slavery by simply electing Barack Obama. And last year, when asked about the racial history of the filibuster, McConnell responded, "It has no racial history at all, none." He is such a racist little liar and devil. Anyway, let me continue. Now, for more than a century, the filibuster was widely understood to be primarily dedicated to maintaining white supremacy. Of course it is. And so is Mitch McConnell, just so you know. Now, it's also for blocking civil rights. Adam Gentleson, the author of Kill Switch, The Rise of the Modern Senate and the Crippling of Democracy, said so at the time. A spokesperson for McConnell later clarified that the senator was referring to the origins of the filibuster. No, he wasn't. He was trying to lie and say, or he did lie and say, that it had no racial origins. It had nothing to do with race. He's such a liar. And aren't all racists, in fact, liars? Of course they are. Okay? Of course they are. Emma says, "I can't stand Mitch." And I can't either, beloved. See, Mama Max says, "My new saying is the Lunars is now Mitch. Mitch, please." Thank you, Queen. You're welcome, beloved. Okay, dark-skinned brother says, "Remember Mitch McConnell, though? It was funny when they asked him, did his family own slaves? He was real proud of it." Oh, yes, he was. He absolutely was. And you know something else? He said once upon a time when they asked him about reparations on another occasion, he said something to the effect of, "There's no one that's alive that was ever a slave or owned a slave." Well, that may be true, but there's people that have benefited from slavery that are alive, and he's one of them. Okay, and many of these corporations have benefited from slave labor. And so with that all being said, he sounds real crazy. Okay, sounds real crazy as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let's talk about Awkwafina. Let's talk about Awkwafina because they're saying that Awkwafina, hold on, before we get to that, hold on. Let's talk about this. Georgia parents are livid after learning about daycare teachers' heinous crimes on Facebook. Alexander Treadway, 18, allegedly sodomized and molested 2 children. I'm sorry, why isn't this person in prison? Also nefarious. Now listen to this. So a Georgia after-school teacher is jobless after being accused of heinous crimes involving children. Alexander Treadway, age 18, allegedly sodomized and molested children, including a little girl, according to Jefferson Police. First of all, I'm sorry, but what parents with common sense are allowing an 18-year-old daycare provider to keep their kids? I mean, that's just crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me. Now, dozens of angry parents met with school leaders January the 12th, upset over how they handled the accusations, according to Fox 5 Atlanta reports. Now, they say it makes you want to beat the crap out of him, you know, and it's hurtful. This is what Charlene Nash, who knows one of the victims, told the TV station. Now, it's very hurtful for her and the family. Nash said the female victim is only 6 years old. Many parents learned of Treadway's arrest on charges of child molestation, sodomy, and cruelty to children via Facebook. Bright Beginnings of Jefferson responded to the police post with their own that read, It is with a devastated heart that we confirm this horrible news is true. It was never Bright Beginnings' intention for any parent to be notified about the situation on Facebook. Well, here's the question I have. Since Bright Beginnings, the daycare, actually hired this little thug who's a whole pervert and a freak, they didn't do a background check on him to know that he was charged of these things. I'm just curious. Where was the background check? How did he ever get hired in the first place to be dealing with people's children? They say when you hear about it on social media first, before the daycare sends out anything, that's a shock. Now, the school's Facebook post said they were notified about the monster's alleged behavior by a parent Friday, January the 7th. And again, I ask, why didn't they do a background check on him? Why did it take for some child's parents to come in and let them know what had happened? Now, however, school staff didn't inform Jefferson police until the following Monday. Treadway was then arrested and charged Wednesday, January the 12th, according to online Jackson County Sheriff's Office records. Now, the school's owners said Treadway's state background check came back clear before he was hired. So they did do a background check. And he had also worked at another daycare prior to employment with them. The post continues to say that due to Stupid 19 restrictions that were in place, the school can say with certainty that no other classrooms were involved. Treadway is currently in the Jackson County Jail. Let me tell you all something. I have told you all numerous of times that people who molest children, people who are pedophiles and stuff like that, they specifically get jobs where they deal with people's children. That's what they specifically do. So they'll tend to get jobs at daycares, at schools. They'll be Girl or Boy Scout counselors. They'll do those type of things because they want to put themselves in close proximity to people's children. And then they want to have, authority over these children so that they can groom them and manipulate them. That's what these people do. So it's no shock to me that he's had these several jobs working at daycares because that's likely exactly why he did it. Freak. Such a freak. So anyway, listen to this. Now, you all may remember hearing about Awkwafina because I have told you all about her before. She's an Asian woman who gained her notoriety from acting like a Black woman, even speaking with what they call a Black accent. Okay? Now, the thing is this. She has recently been nominated for an NAACP award. What? Please pay attention. These people go out here and disparage and say all kinds of things about Black people, make fun of us, mock us, and all of that. And then they get nominated for NAACP awards. Please make that make sense. So out of all the awards, Awkwafina is slammed after being nominated for an NAACP award. Asian American actress Awkwafina made headlines last year after critics blasted the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings star for having a history of appropriating Black culture and using a Black accent, but being vocal about her refusal to use an Asian accent while she's on screen. So she won't use her own native accents, but she'll use a Black accent, okay? Pay attention. All these people that hate on Black people want to be Black people. That's why they try to appropriate every single thing that we do. Now, the Marvel star is now facing backlash after being nominated for an NAACP Image Award. The annual ceremony presented by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, which honors Black talent in Hollywood for outstanding performances in film, television, theater, music, and literature, gave the 33-year-old the nomination for Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance. So she literally got nominated for using a Black accent, I'm sure. Now, they say she was in a motion picture for her role in Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, the NAACP does not exclusively nominate Black entertainers. However, folks on social media immediately voiced their displeasure with the decision, including one baffled Twitter user who wrote, "Out of all the awards, I would think the NAACP Image Awards would be the last one to nominate someone like Awkwafina, who thinks it's okay to make a minstrel of Black people for a living. Yikes. I have to concur. I have to concur. That's how you know the NAACP is full of shites, okay? They're nominating someone who mocks Black people and tries to talk in a Black sense because she thinks that's the way to get her come up. And then pay attention. She calls herself Awkwafina because she's also trying to appropriate Black culture. Because you know how Black people name their children, you know, all these crazy names sometimes. But anyway, out of all the awards, you know, the person goes on to say that she's making a minstrel out of Black people for a living. Another person commented, NAACP and Awkwafina should not be in the same sentence. They say, yes, she is a person of color, but the NAACP really just going to ignore Awkwafina's use of a Black scent for jokes in such a minstrel-like fashion. And that's what another person said. They said she has yet to explain why she used it and why she suddenly stopped. We all know she only stopped because she started getting bigger roles. And yes, she is a person of color, but the NAACP really should have thought better of this. Awkwafina got an NAACP award nomination, LOL. Who the F is in charge of these cookout invitations? That's what someone else said. And they also said they need to be vetted. So the actress reacted to the nomination, stating that she was extremely honored to be nominated at the NAACP Image Awards alongside so many people that I love, she says, and I appreciate and respect. Honey, she doesn't appreciate or respect any Black people. That's what she doesn't do, because if she did, she would not be out here trying to make minstrels out of Black people, mocking Black people, appropriating Black culture. That's what she wouldn't be doing. So she has no respect for any Black person, okay? Please miss me with it. Now, she has yet to address the mounting backlash online over the recent honor, nor has she thoroughly explained her past use of a Black scent. During an interview via Reuters Showbiz, she said she was open to the conversation. She says, I think it's really something that is a little bit multifaceted and layered. And so, yeah, whatever that's supposed to mean. And for those of you who don't know Awkwafina, I'm going to show you her picture. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Here she is right here. That's the devil. MS Bless said NAACP is a shield. Give her the green light to keep doing it. Yes, they are. And we all know who started the NAACP. It wasn't Black folk. So any organization that's supposed to be for Black people and for helping Black people or whatever, and you're not started by Black people, they can miss me with it because I never trust any of that. It's just a bunch of people trying to push a narrative and try to act as though they're actually helping Black people when they never are. Okay, just like Black Lives Matter. Glamour Diva says NAACP is no more Black than BLM. Exactly. Pensacola says I saw that demonic demon. Clinton says tell Awkwafina we don't eat that much rice. Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm going to be going live right now on the original QueenAShakur show for the last morning wake-up call. We got to talk about how the NYPD is looking for this woman who threatened these little Orthodox children and told them that Hitler should have killed them all. And so we're going to talk about that, and amongst other things. So everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. Also, please be sure to follow the QueenAShakur fan page. And you can find me on Twitter at TheGoddess27. I hope to see you in the next chat. Peace.